You're watching Maryland Politics here on TV Free Baltimore.
Hello and welcome to Maryland Politics. I'm your host, Beth Lawson. In studio this evening, we have a candidate for Maryland's 6th Congressional District in the U.S. House, Mr. Jonathan Jenkins. Welcome, Mr. Jenkins.
Thank you. You can just call me Jonathan.
Thank you. Jonathan, tell us more about you and what motivated you to run for Congress.
Well, I have two small children, 7 and 10, and I just feel this country has just been getting out of control lately, especially because of the Marxism that we're facing everywhere. I served my country for many years, and I went 6,000 miles to go fight as a Marine, come home, and it's getting destroyed from within. And I just could not put up with that anymore. I am uniquely qualified, unlike other candidates. Not only did I serve our country for many years, but I also have the background that we need right now for the external threats. For example, I have a background in artificial intelligence, machine learning, cybersecurity. I have two businesses. One is a tech business. Another one is a firearms dealership. So Second Amendment is very important to me. I've also been asked to be a founder in a fintech company. So again, very well-rounded, very entrepreneurial. I probably worked at almost half of the federal agencies. So I really do understand how they work. And I just want to serve my country one more time.
Can you elaborate on why cybersecurity is such a threat to the U.S. national security?
That's a really good question. So a lot of people have heard about ransomware. They think it's about like bribing people for money and whatnot. Cybersecurity is a very big issue because it goes much beyond money. There are something known as the 16 critical infrastructures out there, and we have foreign actors that are actually trying to tap into such things as dams and water and our energy system. It is very important that we secure that. There was an executive order put out on May 12th, which was supposed to address this, and it's creeping up. It's going to be almost a year soon, and they still have done nothing on that. We are constantly under attack, and we have to defend, because if you do not have a good cybersecurity threshold, you can be shut down, and your eyes and ears, you can lose your airports, you can lose your water, you can lose all energy, and we'll be in complete disarray. And I personally believe we have not been given the due diligence like we should.
Do you think it's lawful for the Biden administration to use executive orders, whether through OSHA or CMS, to mandate employees' vaccinations?
We certainly do not need executive orders. Executive orders were supposed to exist for one reason: wartime. Okay, COVID-19 is not wartime. It is to some people. I do believe that it was a bioagent, but that is not how executive order is supposed to be spilled in there. Now, when you look at CMS, that's a joke. Why is that? They're supposed to be for Medicare, Medicaid, and the CHIP program. They should have no say-so of enforcing masks, shots, whatever it is, on our citizens. No, it just should not be. If you go to OSHA, think about the O in OSHA. Occupation. Right, that's it for like warehouses, mines. Well, I think the mines have their own group, but it's to protect the actual workers and what they are doing. Again, they should have no power whatsoever to go beyond occupations out there. So no on executive orders, no on OSHA, no on CMS. They do not have the authority to do that.
Do you feel that children should be forced to wear masks in school?
Children should not be masked. Okay, my little guy today, we just got word that he doesn't need a mask starting Monday. He was excited, and it was unbelievable. The 7-year-old, he goes, "Oh, great, I could breathe again." It was unbelievable. I thought he was joking, and he wasn't, and that is not something a child should say. You're going to see a lot of issues like they have up in Philadelphia and some other children's hospitals where these children are now having respiratory issues. It's not good because of the constant masking. They're supposed to be breathing out. Yes, they're breathing it in. We know that they're not hygienic, right? If you got kids, you know they're not hygienic at all. So they should not be wearing these through the day. Definitely should not have shots. This is still experimental. This is the first time was it Moderna that putting something out there. We should not be using these children as pawns. We have the Super Bowl. How many people went to the Super Bowl? 60-some thousand unmasked. Yet our kids in class have to have mass water sitting, yet I can take them out later that night to Applebee's or something like that. Now, again, they don't have to wear the mask. It is unfair. If the adults shouldn't have them, the children shouldn't have them.
And are you for school choice, and should the funds follow the child?
Congress does have almost $7,200 for the students out there. So what I'm going to propose is to have the dollars follow scholars. That makes sense. Now, however, as a federalist, I'm a small government guy. I eventually think those monies is something that should not be spent by the federal government, because while it's good for now because we got to get these children back in the education, my concern is if you have failing school districts like Baltimore, New York, LA, Chicago, do we really want to pour money all over the place? I believe the federal government should hand that over like it originally was. Let the states handle that. That is a state and county issue. However, so while I think the money shouldn't be there, I would suggest right now while it's there, yes, hand that money over as a voucher that they can spend anywhere they want. After $7,200, it's on them.
Would you explain how you would stop funding COVID and investigate the CDC, the NIH, and the pharmaceutical companies?
CDC has done some very bad things, as well as the NIH. Two things I will look at specifically is the funding. We need to understand why they funded these things, why there's a patent out there as well for COVID in existence long before that, and why are they changing language on their websites? Makes no sense. I think they redefined, was it virus or something like that, a couple different times. You can't redefine these because it doesn't fit your narrative. We need to use tools like the Wayback Machine and things like that to look at the websites and everything they have published since this started. We want to look at that material, who changed information and why. We want to know what information changed and why. I think we should have a bill out there, which I would love to introduce, where we would use text analytics, artificial intelligence, to go through everything out there and just pick up anything dealing with COVID or anything COVID related, figure out all the funding, immediately stop it, because we see what's happening in the nation. This thing is nearing its end here. So we can very safely stop all funding. Even if we have obligations, cut it now. $7.5 trillion is not something that taxpayers need to pay. It's also causing inflation, correct? If we are still paying people to sit home, it's artificial money. It's not free money. It's not money for the government. It's your money. So yeah, stop all money as soon as possible. Let's use text analytics, go through everything that they have changed on websites, in documentation, and anything they have written.
I've been reading a lot about the MS-13 crimes in Montgomery County especially, which is very concerning because that is not far from me. Currently, which terrorist groups are the biggest threat to the United States?
We also need to look at Antifa. They are a terrorist group. They have helped no one. We have to go after them, destroy that infrastructure. And also one of the very powerful ones is MS-13. They make their way into that border because it's wide open. They come right to Maryland. Why? Maryland is now number 3 for receiving these folks in here. Montgomery County is where they have a hold. They have had some horrific murders down there where they just don't murder you. They chop you up and do some crazy stuff out there. They're bad, bad people. And we need to identify all those and flush them out of here. I want their own trials to get them out of here even quicker. I don't care if it's done in tent cities or anything like that. I don't want to hear that, oh, we can't keep them. We don't have enough space in prisons. Figure it out. Find a way. These are dangerous, dangerous people, and we need to chase them out as much as possible. Then as well, from the federal side, because of the nature of the crimes going across the states, I believe that now makes it a federal issue here. There is a lot of trafficking going on, whether it's work trafficking or sex trafficking, because of these reckless DAs. If they're not doing their jobs and these people are just going after the most innocent people, even those that are illegal immigrants they're exploiting, we need to then say, you know what? I believe these DAs are bad too. Let's lock them up. Okay, so yes, terrorism is a real deal. We have to confront it. It hurts a lot of people, and it destroys souls for the rest of their lives.
Jonathan, thank you so much for coming to speak with us tonight. Can you please let us know why voters should vote for you and how voters can find you?
The reason why I need to be your next congressman is because I'm the most uniquely qualified. Whether it was the skill sets I've gained through all my years working, being a Marine, traveling overseas, being an international coach, being involved with startups, half the federal agencies. I'm conservative at heart. I am the right guy for the job. I am used to this. I have actually been running for over a year now. I run at this every day. There's some days where I campaign to 16 hours. This is very important for me, even though it disrupts my life. It's a pay cut, and it's going to take me away from my kids. But in order to save this country, I'm willing to do that. please check out my website, voteforjenkins.us.
Thank you for watching Maryland Politics. I'm your host, Beth Lawson. Stay well, and please tune in for our next show.
You're watching Maryland Politics here on TV Free Baltimore.